took a dive. I didn't know I'd fall so deep into your eyes. I've never been somewhere so sweet. I'm hypnotized. Yeah, you put my mind at ease. Yeah, you're divine. I'm thankful that you're mine. Looking at me like people are looking at their phones. I've spent 7 years looking for love that I can hold. Now I know your love is all I need. Now I know. Yeah, your love is all I need. Running around with you always by my side, off of the ground. 'Cause the feeling's so damn high. I'm hypnotized. Yeah, you put my mind at ease. God, you're divine. I'm thankful that you're mine. Passport, hotel, jet plane. My life won't never be the same. Got you all up in my brain. Love the way you changed me for the better. Got me through bad weather. I want you all the time. Love the way you looking at me like people are looking at their phones. I've spent 7 years looking for love that I can hold. Now I know your love is all I need. Now I know. Yeah, your love is all I need.
So sweet to be. This is where I wanna be. On up with you, supersonic. We're on fire, rockin' love alive. On up with you. Just in the backseat of the Beamer, put my feet up, how you feeling? Yeah, yeah. Just in the backseat of the Beamer, put my feet up, how you feeling? Yeah. Just in the backseat of the Beamer, put my feet up, how you feeling? Yeah, yeah. I can love a lie. Caught up with you. Just in the backseat of the Beamer, put my feet up. How you feeling? Yeah. Just in the backseat of the Beamer, put my feet up. How you feeling? Yeah. Just in the backseat of the Beamer, put my feet up. How you feeling? Yeah. Just in the backseat of the Beamer, put my feet up. How you feeling? Yeah.
I just can't see all the angles. Chip, tap, digital wallet.
We can help with that.
I love trucking. The open road, the biscuits, and the gravy. Can you help me bank when I'm away?
Roger that. We got you, good buddy.
I won my first tournament. So now what?
You can deposit that check with the First Source mobile app.
I need more space for these dogs. Trevor, I know. I'm asking.
We can find a small business loan that works for you and you, Trevor. For every banking need, there's only First Source Bank. FirstSource.com. Member FDIC.
Coming to the rescue. Waiter on the way. Pick from any menu. What you want when you want from your favorite restaurant. Waiter on the way. Wow, call them now. If your favorite place doesn't deliver, there's only one name you've got to remember. Waiter on the way. Call or go online now. What you want when you want from your favorite restaurant. Waiter on the way.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Workplace stress is now a leading cause of declining mental health, with 60% of the global workforce feeling it more than ever. You can't escape work, but you can take small steps to care for yourself. A walk, some sun, a favorite song. Therapy is one of those steps. Ongoing support to build resilience for whatever your day throws at you. Balance is tough. Getting help shouldn't be. Visit betterhelp.com/Spotify Music for 10% off your first month.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. I wanna taste your content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption, breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Just wanna be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
Music is my therapy, dancing is my medicine. Lifting every part of me, I'm free from what I'm living in. Music is my therapy, dancing is my medicine. Lifting every part of me. So don't tell me you want me, just because you're lonely, just because you saw me at the party with my homies. We can take it slowly, we can take it slow. So don't tell me you want me, just because you're lonely, just because you saw me at the party with my homies. We can take it slowly, we can take it slow. Because music is my therapy, therapy, therapy. Music is my therapy, therapy, therapy. Music is my therapy, therapy, therapy. Music is my therapy, therapy. So don't tell me you want me, just because you're lonely, just because you saw me at the party with my homies. We can take it slowly, we can take it slow. We can take it Music is my therapy, dancing is my medicine. Lifting every part of me, I'm free from what I'm living in. Music is my therapy, dancing is my medicine. Lifting every part of me. So don't tell me you want me, just because you're lonely, just because you saw me at the party with my homies. We can take it slowly, we can take it slow. Don't tell me you want me, just because you're lonely, just because you saw me at the party with my homies. We can take it.
Hey, everybody! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can everybody hear us?
Mic check, 1, 2.
That's the fun part of the night when we actually have to turn around. It's like, can everybody hear us?
There we go. All right. All clear, all clear.
Why
Thank you, thank you,
is
thank you.
body doubling for productivity?
Oh, shitballs. Because I was
Okay.
messing around
Okay.
with
I didn't know if you saw that or not. I'm like, oh, did I miss something?
adjustments.
Gotcha. It's fine. There we go. Just gotta drop a part.
Yep,
Uh,
it be gone. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us for night 2. I did manage to pull something out. But I may have pulled
unfortunately,
a
the only thing.
Trisha.
Ah, shit. Izzy, look, I love when people can give us just a little bit and then make us keep coming back. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I think the only thing I pulled out today was my anxiety. uh, Izzy pulled a Trisha. We're gonna find out how bad of a Trisha here in a minute. Well, at least you didn't pull a Dahlia. Or did you pull a Dahlia? I don't like that look. Okay, moving on. And by the way, Trisha, we did get your email for your submission, and we will be contacting as soon as we do some brainstorming. So
Yes.
to get everything set up. And by the way, we're so proud of you. Got to keep our people, very well informed of. We're proud of everybody. Like if you have the gumption, the time, the sheer fucking willpower at this particular point to sit down and put your thoughts onto paper or into a computer or whatever and make it into something, you're already halfway there.
Yeah, Kesh was stopped by a little bit ago, and we were talking about it. How when we were in our late teens, early 20s, and we'd never get past the rough draft stage, or let alone chapter 5. And now look at us, putting together whole things, and putting it out there. We're already surpassing what our selves did 2.5 decades ago. And so, you know, it's all about
Oh
helping
yeah,
each other.
I
And
completely concur because I have an original wrote when I was 15, original
mhm.
sitting over there in a folder. And oh, that's awesome. uh Trisha says the publication date might be moved up. So I'm like, oh wow,
Oh,
that is freaking awesome. Please let us know immediately. As soon as you know, so we know how to better judge that one out. Uh, but yeah, I've got 75 pages. It is, and that's back when you wrote in the big ass font to make it look a lot better than what it does now. It's over like 15,000 words, and I never could, as much as I tried, I never could figure out where it ended. Like I just kept writing, and I just kept writing, and I just kept writing. It was one continuous ass fucking story. There was no chapters, scene breaks, anything like that. It's just one continuous ass story that makes
mhm.
little sense to anybody who isn't me or was Red, because Red got to hear all this shit as I wrote.
Mhm.
But again, that one's going to be an even harder. Everybody thought Destin was going to be hard for me to go back and rewrite and everything and get back out after uh, physically losing the main character, because I now have nothing to bounce those ideas off of, because that she is the character. Um, but going back to something that I wrote when I was 15 and I'm 39, and I rewrote this fucking thing 4 times, and each one of the other 3 copies, other than the original, no longer exists. either the hard drives got corrupted and I no longer have access to it. I don't have access to a lot of the main points that story is based off of. So it's all going to be fresh out of my freaking head, but still trying to hit the main beats of what I originally wrote. And the only one that could tell you that freaking story better than I could was Red.
Yep.
Also, real quick, before we really get started tonight, I want everybody pour you a drink, whether that's Dr. Pepper, you got a drink, hold it up, because she would have been 61 today.
Happy birthday, Mom.
So happy birthday to the redhead in heaven, and may she still be raising hell when we get there. Now, enough of that shit. Off to what she set us off to do. We have only two tonight. The only thing I conjured up was several fucking panic attacks in a Walmart. I hate Walmart. I hate Walmart worse than anybody else hates Walmart. I know that for a fact. But when all the other stores don't have the particular ingredients you need to make a dinner, you have to go to Walmart.
That's me and Bucky's.
Yeah.
That's me and Bucky's.
Especially when you have to feel bad about asking Walmart employees, which are doing the grocery runs, because they've got the carts and everything like that, they're doing their thing, and you have to stop them from what they're doing, going, look, you probably already went down that aisle, and I haven't gone far enough, or I've passed it. Can you please just tell me where this is currently located? Because you guys decided to flip the fucking store on its ear, and items that had been in certain spots for 10 plus fucking years are now no longer in that spot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I don't know if y'all remember or if that's the way yours is set up, but you used to walk past the frozen food section and then you had the bread, coffee, peanut butter aisle. That's what we called it. At least it was bread, coffee, peanut butter, snack cakes. You had that aisle. That's not what that aisle is anymore. That aisle is like bulk products. Has pretty much nothing to do with the fact that it's that close to the fucking frozen food section.
Right.
The bread aisle is now in the middle of the fucking store. And aisles that used to be big enough for 2 carts to go down are now big enough for 1 cart to go down one way. And I was looking for clothes hangers. And I had to straddle the aisle and have both my elbows out, and I was basically almost touching the fucking sides.
Ugh.
And all I wanted was hangers. Guess what I didn't come out with?
Hangers.
Hanger.
Nope.
Because I was sitting there trying to compare prices of whether to buy like the big box of like 100 or buy like the individual color coded ones for everybody. So it's like, okay, your hangers go to your room. That's not what happened. I will probably get around to that later. But anywho, tonight we start off with Starvos, then we've got Izzy, and then the fun part of I want Izzy to explain. Somebody had asked me this question after we had gotten off last night. So I would like Izzy to explain at the end her or why she has the extreme reading tracker. And the first game, which is not one of the ones you're currently playing, but the first game. And then if we've got time going into the second game. So if you feel cool with that tonight, that was a question that was asked to me offline last night. And I said, hey, look, I'll throw that up there because we're going to have to fill the show with something.
We gotta fill the show. And it's book as shit, right?
It is very much book as shit. And it was one of the original reasons. I'm sorry, Bubba, go ahead. Oh, yeah. But it was one of those things that it's like, it was one of the things that started us on this fucking journey. Whether we wanted to believe it or not, it wasn't just Julie got fucking writer's block, it was reading, writing, getting all that freaking shit and keeping it maintained so you're not floundering and burning out and everything like that. Uh, Hold on a second. I have to go off mic for just a second.
Well, besides the fact that somehow I hid the chat from the side, um, so I there we go. It's over on the side now. Right as soon as I'm looking and I'm going, wait a minute, there's no chat on the side of our feed, and I'm like fixing it at the same time that Kesh is in the comments going, I just realized that the chat isn't up. GMTA. What can I say? No, I'm doing
Hey,
pretty good.
I will be right back. So
Okay.
watch for me down bottom.
Okay. So, yay fun. Life is lifing. They say that toddlers are the toughest age. No, the fuck they aren't. And that's just all I'm going to say about that. But I will also say that the newsletter did not go out. We're getting ready to do an ad here in about 3.5 minutes. So I'm just going to talk. But I think what it's going to have to be is that I set it up uh, Sunday instead, because we're kind of getting that grace period of, you know, last minute. If you couldn't get it in by 3 p.m. on Saturday, let us know if you're going to put one in, and you get till 3 p.m. Central on Sunday. So that way we get the numbers and can include them in the newsletter. Yes, we're still going to do the voting on Saturday, especially if, let's say, we get all the way through the submissions and decide that we're not going to do a Sunday night. Maybe we still go ahead and do a Sunday night, but it's going to be, more of a hangout talking about bookish things instead of reading more. That way we can get our hours, we can get our views, we can get followers and that sort of thing and maintain our affiliate status. So, no, toddlers are not like mini teens. They really are not. Um, I'm going to have to respectfully agree to disagree. Um, because when you get into the teen era, you've got a whole slew more of issues that you got to navigate. And then you start looking at the young adults. And yeah, right now, I can't do anything right. And the fact that they are old enough and considered adults, according to the law, and I can't do anything right, but they live in my house. Yeah. And technically, they got somewhere they can go. They got they got friends or other family members that they can go hang out with, and I yeah, I got some local friends that I can go and see, and you know, I just yeah, at this point I would rather have let's see if this works. Did I just screw up the dumb shit? Okay, hold on. accept. Maybe I got to do it there. Hey,
There we go. That was
there
the
we go.
quickest knock and like let me. Hold on. Here we go.
All right. Yeah, I clicked on the wrong thing because it popped up and said that, Julie wants to collaborate. Well, I clicked it there instead of over here. So,
We're learning.
Stavros, that's just it. I got a 20-year-old and a 22-year-old who do the same goddamn thing. Exact same goddamn thing. Or, don't put their laundry away, and so they're bogarting all the clean laundry baskets, and then I can't do mine.
Yeah.
Or I come down in the morning and there's, food and everything and all over the kitchen counter, and the dishes are piled up in the sink because everybody was too tired the night before. So, here's the thing. Toddler, it's my job to clean up. Young adult makes the mess, makes potions, makes spell bottles, whatever, and decides to leave a mess. Why am I still cleaning it up 2 decades later?
Oh no, that's my son.
Yeah, no, Julie definitely knows about that. But here's the other thing. When my 22-year-old leaves clothes out on the bed, the cats go and pee on it.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not seeing all the things. All right, give me just a second.
And I mean, I got the same problem not only with the toddler, and mine's not a toddler, mine's a 9-year-old, but mine is special needs, and in that process, I also have the same fucked up thing with the cats because one cat went into heat, decided the couch was their domain in which to mark, and now I have about God knows how many loads of laundry on top of the couch that my husband keeps throwing clean laundry on top of, knowing like how that all that's got to be rewashed now. Oh well, that's the problem. It is all my clothes. It is absolutely 100% all my clothes.
So essentially what we're saying is that it's not a competition.
Yeah,
Okay?
no,
It's not a competition. We all got it hard in
we're all
various different
commiserating.
levels.
We can commiserate, but it's not a competition. We're all dealing with the shit.
Oh, Stavros, yeah. Great minds think alike. Because I just said that before I saw your comment. All right. And speaking of Stavros, let's read her submission. More from book 2, Phoenix Apprentice, Rough Draft. Here we go. Use your words. Dominic pulled at his hair. Kalita folded her arms and faced the window. Definitely not. After she woke up from her experience in the woods and realized she was bare naked, Kalita was beside herself with embarrassment. At the time, it seemed like a decent idea to crawl all over Dominic while enthralled by the charm of pixies, but she was rethinking that now. In the safety of her room back in Nidawar, if she could be consumed by the ground, she wouldn't complain. Kalita tried to wrap herself up into a tight ball, hoping that if she shrunk small enough, she could melt through the window and never be seen again. Dominic walked carefully to Kalita, his hands out in a placating motion. It's not as bad as you think, he said. After all the work gone into creating a docile noblewoman of Kalita, she went and ruined the efforts with a single mistake. Dominic's arms wrapped around her gently, like trying to calm a skittish fawn. Kalita tried to push him away. Why would he want to comfort such a fraud? Her desire to crawl in his lap and never come up for air was overshadowed by the intensity of her mother. What makes you think you are lovable? The voice ebbed to match her inner turmoil until Dominic was fighting her swinging arms. No one knows what happened in the forest. His hands steady on her arms. Kalita's lungs were on fire. It didn't matter if no one knew. She knew. Tuck that napkin in your bodice. No one wants to see you looking like a skeka. She clawed at her chest, the pressure overcoming her instinct to push Dominic away. It doesn't change anything, he murmured in her ear, his body up close and cradling her. It changes everything, her voice squeezed out in a high-pitched squeal. A sob escaped her, and then suddenly a dam broke. Tears streaked down her face. I won't tell anyone if that's what you want. His hands massaged Kalita's upper arm. She curled into Dominic, weeping. I'm not perfect, though, she whispered. Dominic slowly pulled her away and tipped her chin up. I never want perfect. I only want you. His bright blue eyes pausing her thoughts. But all she knew was her efforts to be perfect. You are exactly who I want. No pretending, no posturing. His lips met hers. A final tear fell down her cheek as she calmed in Dominic's arms. Later, Kalita sat beside Dominic as they met with the queen, her red rimmed eyes overlooked and her hand entangled like a vice with Dominic's. I'm so glad you made it back in such a timely fashion. Normally, we don't make exceptions. Elves are very particular about their time spent in the company of others. What Kaleda had learned of of their people, elves found it rude to run off to other plans when the current event had been scheduled. If she had planned a luncheon with the queen, but left even an hour before the time of leaving the event, Kaleda would be in trouble and considered inconsiderate of the elf's time. Even though they had more time in the world than humans, they took it seriously. Every memory was time spent. I apologize for the disruption to my stay, Mother. Kaleda held out her hand with the top showing to the Elven Queen, her head face down, staring at her shoes. The gesture in her book as a way to show remorse and regret. The Elven Queen grasped her hand and pressed a kiss in acknowledgement. Kaleda returned to her seated position. I had time to think of subjects we could talk about in that time, her eyes shining with amusement. The couple glanced at each other. Like that one book in my restricted library. Kaleda's eyes widened in alarm. Oh, dear Isa. Then her new friend entered with a dessert. The dish was placed on the coffee table between the queen and the couple's couches in the drawing room. Elise placed a creamy white dish with sugar on top in the center. The queen's eyes lit up in delight. This is a new dessert my people designed, and might I say, it's been my new fascination. The queen's hands clapped in excitement. Elise fumbled with a flint, only for it to clatter on the ground. A heavy sigh came from the woman. Cleta laid a hand on Elise's arm. Allow me. A small smile graced her lips. Kalita stared at the sugar. The expectation bubbled up inside her. The stare of the queen, Dominic, and Elise filling her until the familiar burn trickled down her arm. She held out a hand, letting her flame touch the dish. When it caught, she fought to bottle up the fire once more. Only it didn't. She was slowly being engulfed when the queen inhaled sharply. My, it's just like Bedelia said. Kalita's panicked eyes met the queen's. Breathe, dear. Fire is fueled by pressure. The queen gestured to take a deep breath. Kalita's panting subsided, and along with it, her fire. You need guidance for sure. Normally, your emotions shouldn't affect your magic that greatly, but this has been happening for some time now. Kalita pushed down the bubbling emotions. How do you express your emotions? Mother tilted her head. Kalita's eyebrows creased in confusion. I don't, Your Majesty. Emotions are weakness. A hand flew to her mouth as she realized that was the first time she had said those words out loud. Dominic and Mother stared at her in stunned silence. Is this what your mother taught you? Dominic asked. Kalita glanced at him. I wouldn't exactly say I remember her saying it word for word. She nibbled on her finger. She couldn't remember much of what she was exactly told. Just said it was detrimental that she be the impeccable daughter. I don't think that was the word that was meant. Anyway, access to my restricted section would important then. You need the materials on the Solandrians. The queen summoned Elise closer. She instructed the young woman to get a scroll. I shall give you a letter with my official approval to the restricted section. However, the queen pulled the dish closer, stopping Kalita from scooping some onto her tea plate. You have to have the librarian as your guide. There's books in that library that could change the very fabric of reality. Kalita nodded as the queen signed the scroll and handed it off. What are the Solandrian, anyways? Kalita asked. She remembered from a visit to the library, but the content was limited. The queen steepled her fingers. You have heard of the phoenixes, right? Kalita leaned closer. Dominic's arm wrapped around her as she quietly listened. I read bits and pieces, but there wasn't a ton about them. Only that they flew on the backs of the phoenixes, Kalita said. Mother nodded. Yes, but they were masters of fire. Their bloodline only bore flame users. They took struggled with their emotions and control of their flames as a result. Cleta stared at the fire dying out on the dish. Did did they have flame-colored hair and eyes? She met the queen's gaze. Yes, all those with the bloodline in their veins bore flaming hair and eyes of amber.
Well, ain't that some shit?
It's a pretty good start. Work through that grammar on some of those spots to make sure that you're saying the words that you mean to say. But that explains a lot more
That really
about
does.
why Kalita is the way that she is.
Well, it also explains why the character comes off very naive because she is. It's not an act. It's literally no, she knows nothing.
She knows nothing.
She was kept very sheltered for a very long time to try to be controlled, and or at least that's what I'm getting at or getting from this is she was sheltered, she was made to be controlled, and now we're all sitting back going, well, ain't that some now we understand this.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yep.
almost comes off with, well, ain't that a kick in the teeth?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's that puts a lot. Okay, no offense, Stavros, but this entire time that we have been reading excerpts from your rough draft of the second book, I have not cared for Kalita. Like, I just want to shake her by the shoulders and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right? This scene literally explains all of that. It's like, okay, I'm going to compare it to Lizzie. Yes, I'm Izzy and I'm Lizzie, but my ex, when I got with him, had a dog named Lizzie. Yes, she was named after me. Anyway, Lizzie would chew through everything. Could not get her to stay out of the toilet, the trash cans. She would tear things up. She would strew things all over. We would literally have to have her in the crate when we weren't home and overnight because she was just horrible. And I was like, will you figure out your dog? Because, oh my God, I am so sick of this behavior. What the hell? And then I was like, how old is she? He goes, I don't know. I was like, where's the paperwork from when you adopted her? Pull out that paperwork, and this dog was only 16 months old.
Oh, she was a baby.
She was a baby. She didn't understand. She didn't know. And from then on, like, I went from being pissed off at this fucking dog to, oh my God, you're my little baby. Let me teach you. Let me hold you. Let me caress, and teach you the ways of how to be a dog and behave. Right? Instant pissosity gone. And this scene does that for me for Kalita.
It really does.
It really does. Now I'm like, holy fucking shit.
Now it's like, oh shit. Now that explains it. Now we just got to get her some intelligence under her ass and kind of go from there.
And some learning. Right.
Yeah.
She knows nothing about herself, about her history, how to interact with the world. Like,
nothing.
Nothing.
Like, she knows absolutely, positively nothing. And that makes me feel really, really bad for the character.
Right.
Because it's like, well, that explains why she got overly embarrassed in the library. That explains why when Douche Canoe, and yes, I do refer to that freaking male character as the Douche Canoe. When the Douche Canoe is sitting there pulling moves on her, and she's all damsel in distress, she really is the damsel in distress.
She really is.
Doesn't understand. Well, she understands feelings. She understands her own body, but she doesn't understand what the fuck's actually going on.
Yep.
So, thank you for making her making it redeemable, and now we're like, oh, okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, learning on the go while being demeaned. That, yeah. The number of things that I am still struggling with as a 45-year-old woman because I was not taught how to handle that. And now it's like, oh, all right, perfect. We also finally have our Canadian host in the chat. She can't go live tonight, but now it's time for Izzy to pull a Trisha because this is only 614 words. Yes, you made it. You made it. No, you did not miss it. I'm, in fact, about ready to read it. Okay. Ready, Freddy? I might get the strongly worded letter this time.
850.
You followed him? Jesus, boy. You know, he might not even have anything to do with Maggie. Donna reasoned. Delaware ain't that big. What's the chances that two cars end up in Three Forks this close together? Sven turned off Railway Avenue, just past the Broken Spur Motel, glancing into the rearview mirror. Has she told you she's from Delaware? I'm not an idiot, Donna. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep me around. I got her over to the MVD and we got her registered here, switched her title over. A month later, another Delaware plate shows up? That can't be coincidence. Sven pulled into Dahl's auto body and put the truck in park. He retrieved his binoculars from the center console and trained them on the large black man getting out of the two-door sedan with Delaware plates. Looks like a Leo. Then don't fucking mess with him. Hold on, Donna. I got some sketchy shit to do. Donna's voice changed tone. Sven, what are you going to do? Plausible deniability, boss. The less you know, the better. Sven unbuckled his seatbelt and reached for the door handle. What are you going to do, Sven? The older woman's voice went cold, commanding, with just an edge of menace. You answer me right now, boy. He hung his head, chastised like he was 5. All right. I'll leave the phone line open, but in the truck. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, you can send the cavalry. He moved to drop out of the truck's cab. You are my cavalry, so you get 15. She paused, dropping her voice. Otherwise, I'm sending Mikhail and Dahlia. But, he protested. But nothing, Sven. You know my rules. You don't play by them, I bring out the twins. Actions have consequences. Now don't get hurt. Donna paused, and then he heard a soft beat. Your time starts now. Sven pushed his way past the driver's side door, muttering softly. He carefully shut the door behind him, preventing a loud slam. In his mind's eye, he could almost see his boss pulling her stopwatch from the desk to click the start button. Why the twins? He thought. They're more trouble than help. Donna had a vast network spanning the entire country, but locally, it was him. And, of course, the twins. He crouched low to the ground, easing past Doll's parts trailers. He could see the man grab a black duffel bag from the back seat and walk toward the motel's office. Well, he certainly ain't above roughing it. Could have stayed at the Sacagawea in style. He pulled up the binoculars again to ensure the man had entered. He stood and casually walked across the auto shop's lot, rounding the back shed and across the street. The setting sun was at his back as he waved to the front desk clerk through the window. He fingered the tracker sticker in his pocket. Sketchy shit is right. If he's a Leo and I get caught. He walked past the carved bear statue, giving it a pat on the top bear's head. Wish me luck, bub. Sven carefully pulled the sticker out of his pocket and kept his hands at his belt buckle, for all the world looking like he was taking a piece of gum out of a wrapper. Instead, he peeled off the backing and turned down the passenger side of the man's sedan. He carefully slipped his hand behind the handle, pressing the tracker in place without slowing his pace. That ought to hold, I think. He continued to walk through the parking lot, turning at the tree line as though on over to the auto parts store.
That's it? Yeah, you pulled a Trisha.
I told you I pulled a Trisha.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. What are you being fucking suspicious?
Oh shit, I just got the stab. I pulled a Trisha. I dragged you in under 600 words. And apparently there is now a character in my world named Dahlia who is referred to as one half of the twins, and Sven is a little freaked out.
No offense or anything, so am I.
Look, okay, when I'm trying to find two characters and I go, what are some popular Scandinavian names? And Google gives me Dahlia.
You gotta use Dahlia. You got to. But this falls in the don't be suspicious, and yet you are constantly being fucking suspicious.
And apparently a whisper of fear reared its ugly little head today. Oh, see, here's the thing though. Shar and I think of Kip Rip. Why do I keep calling him Kip? I don't know. Rip from Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Because that's what he looks like in my head.
And personally, I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Because even Rip is it would fall, and from what I've just seen little bit by little bit, the don't be suspicious, and yet Rip is constantly fucking suspicious. But he is suspicious in all the good freaking ways that keeps us second guessing.
Right. Well, okay, the majority of the things that I see about Rip are related to Beth, right? And so it's always about him being the solid rock and putting up with her crazy shit and, going, look, I love you. When she calls and says babe, I need you. He just dead out, no questions
Giggity.
asked. Like he's there.
He looked over at the rest and said, and they're like, "What was that about?" Like, it's Beth, and nobody batted a fucking eye when he fucking takes off on that damn horse.
He took off, right? And so if Sven is loosely modeled after those glimpses of Rip, and we already have seen how he acts with Maggie and everything else, but Mikhail and Dahlia make him nervous.
Yeah. And it's like, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. At the same fucking time, you're totally suspicious.
Sealy Booth definitely wishes. He fucking wishes that he were Rip level. Sorry, I had a spawn come home. So, had to touch base. Ad
Gotcha.
starts in about 4 minutes. So, am I about to get the strongly worded letter?
Well, I would love to say yes. I'm just glad to see that Spen and them are still active, so to speak. Not necessarily, because look, we all have our stories right now that we are 10 toes down with. Okay. I just happen to have 5. Because, of course, none of my freaking people want to talk when I'm on their story. They want to talk for a little bit, get a little bit out, and then they jump me over to another story. Thankfully, I haven't started anything new. I'm only actively working on the things that I've already got started. Um, but it is definitely one of those, like, I cannot believe this is where I'm currently sitting at. It really is. It really, really is. Um, oh yeah, without a absolute doubt. And I'm over here doing semi retail therapy that is never going to go, or well, never going to go in my cart, is literally just going to my fucking wish list.
Hey, Patrick, check your no, your volume. Hold on. Okay, I am going to mute you, turn you back on. There should be a green button or something that is going to come up. Hit the reconnect or whatever the frick it says. Okay, 1.
I can hear you.
We can hear you. Chat. Nope.
No,
Or
nobody
don't
can
hear
hear
you.
We always got one.
Mm-hmm. Volume. Oh, you know what? Fuck me.
You forgot to give Patrick volume.
I forgot to give Patrick volume on OBS. That is my fault. Oh, darn. Nobody gets to hear him reading me the riot act.
I'll get you, my precious. This is tit for tat. Okay, gotcha. Guess what? I'm working on Mr. Scotty and Amanda right now.
Oh, that's fine as long as you don't give her any more freaking.
Bethany.
Bethany. No, what's her sister's name?
I think it's
I don't
Jessica.
remember. No. In the Scott and Amanda story, you've got Bethany or Brittany.
Brittany and Bethany. There you go.
Okay.
Oh no. Seeing Izzy read Mild Spice and seeing her squirm was very interesting.
Fuck you.
Sorry, you don't have the right equipment, sister.
No, I know, and I'm glad.
Well, she could.
Let's leave Pinkie Pie out of this. Thank you. The point is that y'all making me read the spicy stuff or the nearly spicy stuff, and no.
Okay. I mean, even with Crossroads, when I did the last part of Mexico, and of course completely fade to black until you get to the next warning. I watched Izzy literally turn about 4 shades of fucking red, and nothing major happened. Well, nothing major on screen happened.
Well, I think it's getting to be that time for Scotty and Amanda. They're getting real close,
Can I resign as the designated reader?
You do realize that would put me as the designated reader, and we both know how to
We got 2 other people who are willing to read.
But you do my voices so well. When I'm writing, I hear your voice in my head now.
That can be dangerous. Just saying.
I know, because when the character comes out to be what she needs to do, she kind of has that Izzy Spice where she's like, let's go. Ow, that freaking hurt. I'm Lobster Boy. My back hurts right now.
Well,
I use sunscreen.
Apparently you didn't apply it often enough.
Well, when you have water slides and people that are pulling you to them, water and that stuff just kind of right off.
I'm aware.
So no matter how much I put on it didn't matter.
But of course, I'm the same bitch that would go out there, not wear any at all, be red for less than 12 hours, and then be a nice golden brown. Love you.
No, you don't. You just like to torment me. So just guess what?
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Okay, sorry.
Okay. The edge of my hunger is off. The kids are making dinner. I mean, seriously, that's the cheapest rent in the world. Moneybag's roommate buys the groceries, and the only thing you got to do is make her dinner.
It's like, look, I buy all the freaking supplies. All you have to do is feed me. Here's gonna be the funny part. If I ever, we always see that thing that nobody will ever know if we hit it big, but there will be signs. Yes, there will be signs. Why? Because they will see a nice little person walking in here, placing food down, and backing out like they didn't fucking exist for 5 minutes, and then you'll hear a voice from the other side going, "Is that what you wanted?"
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all anybody gonna know. And it's not gonna be. And it's like, look, I won't have the the certain freaking things, but you will see, little things, little
Yep.
things that will pop up. Like, you know, I might not be drinking Red Bull out of a can. I might be drinking it out of an actual cup.
Right. Yeah, but just all week, right? I could hear Sven's voice saying, "Hold on, I got some sketchy shit to do." And Donna asking Sven, "What are you going to do?" But the rest of it did not come to me at all.
But the whole thing is it's not necessarily going, "What are you going to do?" I hear that the older generation, like grandma voice, that
Yeah,
of "What are you fixing to do?" I
exactly.
hear.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. Donna has a whiskey voice and she's my size with iron colored hair going down to the back of her waist that she normally keeps into a braid. She's the grandmother and grandmother type, but she's also in charge.
Yeah, which makes
And
her
Sven
devastating.
is yeah, the Sven like answering to her and going, yes ma'am and all that. It kind of like
Because Sven's what, like 6'4", 6'5"?
yeah, something like that.
So you got this
Some
big old mountain man. That the best way to
mhm.
put that. You got this big burly mountain man answering to
Yep.
this itty bitty girl, this little bitty woman, and it's not because that's a spouse or a direct blood relative or anything like that. That is not only his boss, but the woman who is basically taking care of him for most of his life. So it is a yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, definitely worth it. Um, I'm hoping that maybe a few of these will spark some sort of interest in get Spin and Maggie back on the
Back on
page.
track.
Oh, no, not necessarily back on track because we're not even sure where the hell that one's going. I mean, you kind of know, but as we know very well, 1 minute, it's like I know everything, and then it's like, fuck, where the hell did that happen?
Well, except there were a lot of clues in that 614 words
There
as to
were a
what's
lot of clues, and I picked up on quite a few of them, but we'll talk about that off screen
I'd
because
absolutely love to hear the thought processes.
I would. But the whole thing is, I know in open forum like this, you're not going to give me the answers. At least off, I can
I'm
read between the lines.
remember I have no poker face, so you'd be able to read between the lines anyway. But
Yes, but if you don't want
either which
everybody
way.
to know about it, we got
No,
to leave those breadcrumbs.
this is true.
So again, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you on the cord with it.
As long as does everybody have any idea uh who Sven tracked to the motel?
I can't remember the cop's name, but I
Okay. Just so that we are
I
clear.
mean, I have
Because
to go back and look at the later episodes from last year to actually get the official cop's name.
well, I can tell you, it's Jiraiya.
Jiraiya. It's like it's one of those weird names. It's not weird,
Yep.
but it's for me. It's not one I hear every day. So it's like
It's
one of those.
not an often it's not an often heard name in my area either. But
It's very. It sounds very Jewish.
it's it's Jiraiya, Josiah, Isaiah. It's very much in that Hebrew old world that
Yeah,
got put
it's like
pulled
Amish,
into
Mennonite.
Amish. Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. It sounds very Jewish or Amish or Mennonite because now if I go over one county over because I'm going to the Yoder Brothers, yes, I do hear that damn name often. But
Yep.
the last time I went over there was for yeast cinnamon rolls.
Rise and roll. Yummy.
So
I had one the other day. So at work, right? We get this whole email for the entire campus, and it says, "Hey, rise and roll in the cafe." Hey, looky there! It's my break time. I go over there. I see my boss's boss, and he goes, "Hi, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, good, good." I'm like, "Ooh, donuts," and he goes, "Go ahead." I had a little sliver of one, and I open it up, and there's this big thing. It's like this freaking big. Okay, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's cinnamon cream cheese frosting." Cinnamon cream cheese frosting, and I'm like, "Okay, what is this?" And I'm like, "Okay, it's a filled donut. There's no way I can cut this in half. I guess I can't share with anybody. Oh darn." And I pick it up and I see this like apple pie glaze coming out of it, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Let me close the lid. Oh darn, that was the last donut. Okay, let me open up. Okay." And I go and I eat my donut, right? And yes, it was an apple cinnamon pie donut.
yo,
So
I
then
used to make them for mom, and her absolute favorite was when I did the apple pies, but she loved it when I did the she called them my cherry crumbles.
right?
It really wasn't a cherry crumble. It was like literally I took cherry pie filling and cream cheese and I mixed it together and I stuffed it inside the freaking donut and then I did a cherry cheese swirl on the top from the juice. And then
Right.
I would take like graham crackers and just like sprinkle them over the top. She called them my cherry crumbles. I would literally have to remind her that those had to be sold the next morning.
So that she wouldn't eat them all. Yeah. Well,
No,
and
so she
then
wouldn't touch them. I'm like, whatever
yeah.
I bring home, you can have, but these have got to go to farmer's market in the morning.
See, I would have let her have one and then go,
I
whatever
always
I
left
don't bring
one, but the whole
home.
thing is I
Yeah.
left the one in the fridge so it'd be good and cold and that
Right.
perfect fucking temperature. And no, she wanted the ones that were still hot that hadn't been refrigerated yet. Like,
Right.
I'm sitting in there with a wooden spoon the same way she did when we were kids and sitting there popping hands trying to keep her
Right.
shit that's got to be sold.
So my break then at this point, about 8-9 minutes later, I'm done with my smoke. I'm heading back in, and I see two of my coworkers from my team come walking, and they're like fast tracking it, and I'm like, are you going for donuts? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, they're gone, and they're like, when? I go, about 15 minutes ago when I took the last one, and they're just like. And we all walk back to our side of campus, and I'm like, I'm sorry. And then they turn and look at me and go, "What kind you get?" And I'm like a cinnamon apple pie with cinnamon cream cheese frosting. And they're like,
Like,
I
you don't want to know. That's one of
Yeah.
those. That's one of those categories where you don't want to know because it's just gonna hurt your feelings.
Right. I mean, yeah. I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm not.
You're
Like,
not sorry.
sorry. No, I really wasn't. I really wasn't. I mean, here's the problem, right? Anytime there's leftover food at work, because my team is constantly on the phones. You can't just, oh, let me lock my computer and go get, right? No, because you're in the middle of a phone call. So we're constantly going, hey, grab me one. Or, like, oh, you going over? Grab me. And food is gone. So we hardly ever get anything. The only time that we get anything is if we do our own carry-in. And so,
Right, and I mean, that's the whole thing when you work in a place like that. Like, the most we ever got is we did a potluck for if it was like a baby shower, or they did do a small potluck for me and Robbie when we got married. But we do it once a year at Tyson, and that is literally the Christmas party. Uh, and we're exchanging gifts and everything like that. But 9 times out of 10, if you happen to be a floor worker and you've got to get the machines sprayed off and everything as soon as the lines go down, you're lucky if you get anything by the time you're out there and can actually converse with everyone. So I understand. The one place I worked, they would do it for first shift and third shift, but I was second, and because we
mhm.
were constantly on the fucking move and constantly on call for whatever thing, we never got the parties or the boss that bring us in fucking pizza or anything like that. If something happened on my shift, it's because I did it for my team. And everybody could not understand why everybody loved me as a boss. And I'm like, you want to know why everybody loves me as a boss? They're like, why? And I said, because I take into consideration what days they want off, how many hours they want to work that week. There's a spicy pepper that ran out of the room. She's on it. I just saw her do a flip and run. So,
Yep. Yep. So yeah, somebody apparently asked you about the extreme reading tracker moniker that I have and
well,
my
we were talking about it last night when you were saying that you had rolled, or you guys were talking about it. I was done with comments. That you had rolled and you ended up on yellow
oh,
4 times
4
this month.
times.
And they were like, what the hell is she talking about? I said, well, Izzy has an extreme reading tracker. And they're like, what do you mean Izzy has an extreme reading tracker? And I'm sitting there like, oh God, that's a can of worms. Like, Izzy has about a 3 mile long, I said, and that's no freaking joke. I'm pretty sure if it was all printed out and put end to end, it would literally be fucking 3 miles long.
Could very well be. Mm-hmm.
TBR list. And I said, and it's sitting at right about, and I took a guess of like 1,400 or more books. And I said, and she's trying to get through it. So she created TBR Busterland. And I said, and in the process of creating TBR Busterland, that did not diminish the amount of books she had to read. I said, if anything, it added more books because we all started coming out with books at the same time that she was doing that. And of course, she'll put us on the damn list, even if we're not supposed to be on the list yet. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, I said, there's, one of our indie authors, I said, Sierra McCormick. I said, she comes up, Ms. McCormick, in the chat, or I said, or up on the screen. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, Izzy's got 5 of hers on the list, one of which she's actually started. And I said, then you have mine. I said, which she's actively helping me with. And it's just a whole big thing. So I said, you know what? I said, we're not going to have a whole lot going on tomorrow night. I said, I'll have Izzy explain it. That's how we ended up here. If we're supposed to be seeing it over on the other screen, we're not.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Gotta go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Um,
Oh, Bubba Bear. Is everything else up on your website, or do I just need to contact you off screen?
Contact
Or
me
do
off
you,
screen.
or do you have any more of the? Because I know I got paperback of the other one. Do you have any more of the hardbounds, or no? You do. Okay.
Yep, I restocked.
Well, I
I'm
didn't
ready.
know. I know you were.
Yeah, I restocked. I'm ready for March. I
Okay.
have stickers. I'm just waiting for my new logo so I can then buy the iron-on emblems so that way I can make my bags, make stickers out of them, make temporary tattoos, make
Okay.
mouse pads. Which when's the next event that we're all gonna do together? I'll need to know ahead of time so I can make swag.
Gotcha. I have no idea because right now I'm trying to figure out. Well, you did send me the list for 2006. It's not really filled
Feasible.
out. No,
Yeah.
for 2026. If I'm going to start planning to do them, I need to start now, getting names in and everything like that. Because while I have put my name in for dozens of events, I was waitlisted on all of them, and one of which you got into, and that's not necessarily what happened with me. Yeah, I see the plan. No. Nothing bad about that, Bubba. It's just the fact that you got into that event. I haven't figured out. It feel a lot of these events before we get while Izzy's getting everything set up for us. Um, a lot of these events feel very gatekeepy. So unless you know somebody who knows somebody who knows the um the person in charge, you're not getting picked. And
I don't
that
know when. I don't know when you applied. I
I
have not yet.
applied.
I have not paid for my table for Sinful yet. They have not sent me the invoice. They said
Right,
I'm
and
going
they
to
won't
be
send
there.
that for a while or until probably January.
Yeah. I've already paid for my September one here in Omaha. But it's
Right.
not until September 26th. So I have nothing for the rest of this year, which is fine. It gives me time to concentrate on getting Heart of Stone done, getting Peter Pan done in audio, paying my editor off for what he did for Jed, and then get to break Jed up for development to edits to send it back to him to have him
Right.
do it all again.
Personally, I'm wondering whether I need to just take next year off on events. I wanted for next year. I was going to hit Tennessee and surrounding states, so anywhere I can get within 6 hours, excluding the states that border me on the east side because I will be driving a little further for that. But those are events that are literally 3-4 days. So it's worth me going over there and doing that. The one that I still have to submit my stuff for before we lose the talk. Yeah.
I'm being called by work. Hold on.
Okay. Izzy, we can't hear you. You turn off the mic because I Izzy can't hear you. Work called.
Right. I could hear.
Oh,
You all just couldn't hear me. So, Night Cash. This is
Night
the front
Cash.
page of my extreme reading tracker. We're about to get an ad, but this just basically is, showing people how to use it, because at the end of each year, I make a copy, change it for 2026, and then let people have a copy of it. Thus far, as far as I know, nobody uses it.
I would, but it's intimidating.
It is intimidating, and there is on that front page, I am available for, uh, teaching how to use it. You can also hide tabs that you don't want to mess with, etc. So this is my overall. And I know it's really, really tiny on the screen. But this keeps track of how many I own, and how many of those that I have read, how much I actually spent versus what the value of my books are. And then also rental savings. I just started tracking that this year. Like, how much money have I saved by utilizing my library and KU, right? Then I also keep track of my series and new releases that I want to read, and how many of them that I have read. How many books I have been recommended and how many have been read. I also do reading challenges and book clubs. So lots of fun things, right? But where the big stuff is this TBR page. This has all of the books that are on my Goodreads TBR. So how does one pick? Oh, and they are color coded. So green is that I own them physically. Light green is I've borrowed them. And I could go all the way down to the bottom here. Let me keep going. Oh, look, I got to the bottom. I have 1,421 books on this list.
So I wasn't wrong. I said around 4.
No. And then I copy them and move them over to my actual log, where I then fill out all of these things like, what length is it? Is it a novel, novella, short story? What genre? Who the narrator was? What format? Who published it? Is it an indie trad hybrid, self-published? What are the different tropes? Where's the setting? So this is, yeah. This is the extra. This is what I'm talking about when I say extreme reading tracker. how do you pick when you have 1,400 books? What's next? So I took a Candyland game and painted it up. And this is TBR Busterland. Hi. So you start down here. Nope, down here. And then roll the dice and you go through all of the colors, right? Now, I used the 6 primary colors, and each one is paired with a genre. Okay, so blue is fantasy, purple is mystery, yellow is thriller and suspense, red is romance or literary fiction, and orange is horror and westerns, because for some people western is horror. Okay, so we're just gonna go there. um and then last but not least, green is science fiction. But then I also added a lavender square, and every 3 squares is a so I've got 3 genre squares, a lavender square, 3 genre squares, a lavender square, and then the black, gray, and white. Because I have all of these TBR jars. Now I'm not going to get them, but they're all the way over there. And I have these are for this year's game. So when you land on a square, you draw a slip that has book names or challenges or whatever on it. And I see other people build their TBR games, and uh, they're much shorter, and they roll until they get their pawn all the way to the end, and that's how many books they read that month or attempt to. No, 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 no. I can only commit to 4 a month, so I only roll 4 times, and then I put little post-its on the thing, and you know, the whole goal is to either read it or DNF it to get it off my TBR. That's why the first one was called TBR Busterland, because it's a TBR buster. That's the whole point of it, is to get through it and go, oh, you know what? This book isn't for me after all. And at the end of last year, I had way too many. We'll just put it there. Way too many books still on the list, and I have already added 118 TBR books to the TBR this year,
And that's even after Green Bay.
and that's after Green Bay too. Yep. Yep. So this year's game, I can grab it real quick. Just this is where the skulls go, and I just keep going around, and there's little black cats on some of them, and I will just continue to go around and around until I satisfy my for the year. Um, is there also one inspired by Clue, one inspired by Shoots and Ladders, and one inspired by um
Oh,
Sorry?
okay.
Yeah, well, that's the Sorry game. Yes, yes. So next year, I believe, is the Clue game, which is called this is called Voidlings and Crossroads or Crossbones. Um, Next year's game is Clue inspired and is called The Art of Deduction. The year after that is Sorry, and it's entitled Off with Her Head, with a very gothic Alice in Wonderland theme. And then after that is the Shoots and Ladders game. It does not have a name yet, and I can't decide if I want to do Amazon Jungle Searching for Gold or if I want to go Egyptian tombs and whatnot. Either way, it's going to be very Indiana Jones. So, this is what I mean when I say I rolled and landed on yellow and had to draw from this one for all 4 books.
Well, she kind of has to, because if not, we're gonna end up burying her. Or she's gonna end up burying herself with the TBR list. It's not really we're burying her with the TBR list.
Yeah.
Actually, we found a book. I think it was on First Reads a couple of months ago. That was that's the TBR. I have to go look at see what exactly the name of it, but it was about a ghost, a woman who died, and now her ghost resides inside of a library, so she can
Oh,
read her TBR, and then she runs into these frat boys. I think it was frat boys, um, and she either has to help them solve a mystery while also still trying to read her books.
yeah. I don't remember what that. If I
Hold on a second. I got it somewhere. Hold on. I think I put it on my list. I didn't actually get it. Where is it?
I don't think I added it there, but yeah. So those are all of them, and they are sorted by what year they got added to the TBR. And yes, there is one right here that got added to the TBR in 1992. Because that's when I got the book from a garage sale. And I still have it. I haven't read it.
The name of it is TBR Dead But Will Read. And it is on Kindle Unlimited for anybody who is. No, we are not paid sponsors, but guess what? I love the cover. I think it's cool. It's got a great premise to it. I will eventually read it. But unlike Izzy, who has become a book of dragon / moth, and I do use the word moth instead of bookworm, because a moth will devour everything, where a worm literally just chews it up and spits it out.
Yeah.
And a dragon, because if you've ever walked into the other room with her and seen the bookshelf, and then looked around at all the other books / journals / everything else, you already know how true that statement already is.
Look, on those shelves is only 298 books. Okay?
Only 290.
98.
So I guess, is that even after Green Bay?
Let me go over to Acquired and take a look. Yes.
You came home with at least 2 books from Green Bay.
Yep, I came home with BJ's A Widow's Web and R. Knight's Thor and Dragon. And they're added in here.
You also came home with Crossroads.
Oh, I did. Okay, hold on.
And I believe you came home with Decoding Shady Pines if you didn't come home with Peter Pan.
Yes, I did. a double edge novel one, and it was published in 2025. It is a romance. That was 6. What date was Sunday? The 15th,
Yeah.
2025.
Technically, it was Saturday the 14th, but yeah.
It entered the whatever, and it is on my indie shelf area, and I got it from the event slash author. It is new to me. It cost me nothing. What's the list price of Crossroads?
Hold on a second, let me go look. I want to say it's 17, but I don't know right offhand. So it's like, let me go look. You got the paperback, so $15.50.
$15.50. All right, and then I also got Decoding Shady Pines autographed. That was also this year, right? Or was that last year?
Decoding Shady Pines was released this year. I think I'll tell you when.
Oh, I don't need that part. Paperback, indie, event slash author.
Yeah, February of 2025.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the cost because I'm paying him for that later. And then I also got Kingdom of Shadows autograph.
This year.
Yep. And see, we got New Life by the Full Moon. Both of them are in there. Let me
I'm about to say, did you actually put in all the other ones from, or were they already on the TBR list?
One more time.
The ones that we took to Green Bay.
Oh yeah, those are all in here. I've got Fates Divided, The Silver Talons Guild, Nervash: Vampire's Tale, Luck of the Mobster, New Life by the Full Moon, My Fair Verona, A Tale of Fallen Ash and War, Phoenix Child, and then the copy of New Life by the Full Moon, which Trisha beautifully sent me. She did not have to, but that way I could display the current and new cover at the event. And then some of my other stuff that I got at. Okay, that's a fantasy. I wouldn't call that a romance at all. And I got it on 6/15/2025. Okay, fine, you piece of crap. Let me change your formatting. See? And literally, if somebody were to want to do this, they could hide this. They could hide
Yeah, they
this
don't have to be as OCD
page.
as Izzy.
Do not have to be as OCD as me. Absolutely not. And I am available for help going, oh shit, I fucked it up. Izzy,
Or
how do
it
I
would be
fix
me.
it?
I'm not even gonna lie. It would be me, and it would be me going, "Hey, we got a problem. What? I think I accidentally deleted the formula for like 5 of these things, and now nothing's looking right, and it's screaming at me in error code."
Well, and I will say this, most of these pages, they're like, you know, you can't screw it up unless you start going up here into the data stuff.
Right.
But see, I also have over here this the very top one here does have, right? So there's nothing over here that you need to grab or type into because for the most part it pulls from your TBR
Right. It pulls from all the other
page.
pages.
night, Shar. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by and not killing me when I read out Sven.
And yeah, that's just delayed.
But now I can take this entire thing, right? These are my acquired and unread hardback books. So if I draw a thing and it says read a hardback, and I don't know which one I want to read, I grab this, I go put it into the wheel of names, and I let it spin for me. And then I go over to my shelf and I find the book and I read it. Now, when it is read and is removed from the list, it automatically removes it from right here. So it's the most unnecessary extreme tracking, keep Izzy good to go. You know, if you don't read challenges, you don't need to use this page, right? If you don't read from book clubs, you don't need to use this page. You can just right click and hide it. If you don't keep track of new books that you're interested in reading, right? Then don't do it. Oh, this isn't even all of them. Oh, because I filtered by color. So no filter. These are all the new books as of 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025 that I was interested in reading. And did I order them? Where did I order them from? In what format? Have I reviewed them? Recommendations that people have given me and who recommended them so that I could brag about them and how they, gave me great recommendations. Or, you know what? So and so has recommended 3 books and I absolutely love them. I'm going to keep going to them for Rex. This is just
This
the
is
authors.
all, and this is also plays into the rising tide lifts all ships,
Mm-hmm.
or keeps Izzy in a crushing amount of books to read.
Yep. Oh, I have to update this page because that's my library page. I gotta tell me when I returned them. Because it also tells me here's the other problem, right? When you borrow things from Kindle Unlimited, they're on there until you return them, right? Well, what if I, forget that it's even there? So this tells me what I have left to read.
Which makes it so much easier.
Yeah, because I can just come over here and look. Okay, why am I missing 30 some books? It says it's only showing. Okay.
Because that
There we
object
go.
prominence of out of sight, out of mind, and even though you're in your Kindle almost every day, I don't know if it is every day,
Almost
but
every
it's
day.
um,
Almost. So this is all the
it
extra
doesn't.
stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't work when you're like, oh, I should have returned that because I'm done reading it, or uh, it just wasn't for me, but I was going to give it a chance, a little bit later when I had some time, and then you're like, oh shit, I should have done that already.
Yep. Absolutely. So
All right.
that's the rolling games, the extreme reading tracker, and then we won't even go into my journal that I keep track of things in because I have not been doing my reviews this year.
I
It's
think she's
fine.
still I think she's still behind from last year.
Shut up. Why do you have to keep throwing me under the bus?
Because accountability.
You know what? Let me. Oh, okay. Okay. So, yes, I have a lot that I have to go back and review. Look, okay. I can either review or write books. being stupid. No, don't be. People keep saying that, and it gives me a complex, and then no. Because yes, over on TikTok, one person said one time, going, "Oh my God, you got an Izzy review?" And I'm like, "Stop! It's nothing." Like, oh no. I mean, anymore with how critical I am disappointed in some way, shape, or form by every book. But it's usually things like I'm disappointed that the narrator didn't get a voice right, which is no fault of the author. Or I'm disappointed that a certain part wasn't expanded more because that's what interested me. Well, maybe that didn't interest the author. Or um, I was disappointed it wasn't longer. Or I'm disappointed it was a standalone when I want to know more. So it just And yes, for the record, I'm also disappointed right now in I think my neighbor's a mobster. And I'm disappointed because I wasn't supposed to feel things, okay? Other than, the fact that it was a whole sexy time. But no, Shar had to go and do this whole thing about shark fin soup, which ended up putting me down a rabbit hole. And then I started feeling really, really super bad for the sharks. And, now I want to like kind of smack people around for trying to or wanting to eat shark fin soup because that's not okay. I was like, no, this was just supposed to be a sexy time. So even in my disappointment, it's not truly disappointing.
I literally just came back to you screaming, "Not sexy time." I'm like, what the fuck?
It was just supposed to be sexy time.
Oh, just supposed to be sexy time. Oh, that's
Well, Trish is over here in the comments going, that she's scared for me to review her books. And I'm like, no, don't be scared because I'm always going to rant and rave and just be really excited about the parts that I really, really like, right? There are going to be constructive criticism for the parts that could use some more work, but more often than not, it's like, I really liked this about the book, or I really liked this about the book. This part didn't really work for me, but if you like this, this, and this, it's going to work for you, right? And then I'm like, on top of that, every book disappoints me in one way, shape, or form, especially if it was a standalone and I wanted a series. This is why you just become really good friends with the author and tell her, by the way, this isn't the standalone that you thought it was.
I still maintain that if you guys would have just left it, let me leave it alone and let it be a standalone, we would not be in the mess that we're in currently. But now we are waist fucking deep in mud and crud and trying to figure out how old fucking characters are because I never gave them an actual fucking age.
But it's fine. Because remember, like I told you, that means that anybody who's going to pick up this book is going to be able to, like, see themselves in it or be able to relate to the characters or be able to live a different life. They're not going to be forced down into a specific age range. You have to know the specific ages so that way you can say, well, it would make no sense at this point, or it would make no sense at this point. If her younger brothers are out of college, why is she still paying for college? That sort of thing. So it's like, no big deal. But usually I'm just disappointed that it wasn't longer. You know? It's fine. So now that we have spent the last hour talking just specifically about my insane book habits, um, it is actually 10 o'clock, which is our normal end time. We're about ready to have an ad break. And rather than raid out tonight, because I think it's been a very long weekend for everybody, and, not going to dump you into somebody else's stuff when you're not, maybe not feeling like being on Twitch for any longer, we'll just go ahead and end out here. Um, Anybody ever has any questions, you know how to find me about my reading tracker. If you want recommendations for a book to read, yeah, I'm just saying.
Or if you give me a category, give me 10 minutes and I can give you a book.
Give me a category, tell me, and see, that's the other reason why I keep track of the tropes and the character types and whatnot, because I can literally break it down. And somebody says, well, I'm looking for a book that is fantasy. I would really like pirates, but I really don't want smut. And I'm going to be like, okay, how do you feel about maps and preteens going on an adventure? Because there's pirates in that one, and there's no sexy time. So, like, and it's a trilogy. They're really easy to get through. You know, I can give a recommendation if they're like, oh, and I want sexy time. I'm like, okay, look, that book hasn't been published yet. But let me give you the name and the
Go read some
author.
of your stuff and make sure that that's the level of smut in which you were looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All
But yeah,
right.
end out tonight. I'm sorry, it's 9 o'clock. I made dinner, and this
Nope.
is my first time to actually sit there and get to eat dinner. So here we're at.
Absolutely.
But we'll see you guys next week, Saturday, same bat time, same bat channel.
The new
7
time.
p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Just your times accordingly, depending on your particular time zone. The newsletter is going to be out probably sometime
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow.
So keep a lookout for that. If not, go into the Discord, go into the channel where it says writing prompts, and you can see all the writing prompts. Unless Izzy hasn't put it there yet, and that's why she's hiding her face. Either which way, keep a
We're all
lookout.
human.
Ask somebody. Here we go. It'll be fine. As always, have a great week. Don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population. If you happen to be arrested, assert dominance immediately and give me a call and let me see if I can find bail money. Because right now I don't have it. But otherwise, be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. And we will see you next week.